Hey, welcome to today's video of Ramblin' Well Drawing. Today we are rambling about Zenshu. The yeah, Zenshu. Sorry, I said the name and I thought it was funny, but yeah, we're talking about the anime Zenshu. I believe this is I believe it's an anime original, from what I understand, from MAPPA. I understand MAPPA is a little controversial in the anime space is a little bit, but so far they've been doing good work. The story premise is it's an isekai. The story premise is an anime director, ironically, Natsuko Hirose, is she dies from eating clams, and she ends up in her favorite childhood anime, Tales of Despair, I believe it's called, and she basically has to adventure throughout this world and. Obviously, you know, she gets her fantastical isekai powers to basically animate a new ending to the story, because apparently the story is really depressing. It's that old childhood classic of everybody dies in the end. But yeah, starting out, I really like Natsuko's design, to be honest. It's one of those simple as awesome kind of things. So. And the funny thing is, like, when she's initially designed, she just has, like, this full head of hair. Like, she shouldn't even be able to see. It goes down her face like a beard. And she kind of has that go-getter attitude. Or go-getter in the fact that she wants to do everything herself. And one of the things that's kind of interesting is... well, I don't know how much this is going to play in the plot, but before she dies, or... That's the thing, is they think she's died. She thinks she's died, but on the other hand too, it's like, is she dead, or is this like her life flashing before her eyes and she's reimagining her favorite anime as she's actively dying from poison clams? It's an interesting idea, actually. It's one of those things where you don't know if it's actually an isekai near-death experience and she wakes up from it and then she can complete a project. Yeah, it's interesting where the story can go. I'm actually it's a little bit more above It's a little more above tier than a lot of recent isekais. I guess I'll give it that. It has that classic feeling of, yes, she's in another world, or she's in this case a show. You know, a lot recently it's been games more than anything, but she's in a classic fantasy anime world. You know, like she's in Slayers or Ray Earth. Well, that was an isekai too, but the world of Ray Earth before the three heroines get to Ray Earth. You know, it's just a record of Lodoss War. It feels like she got popped into an 80s, 90s anime, basically, which is really cool. Sorry, my heater's going off again. It is minus 15 degrees out, so there's nothing I'm going to do about it because I don't want to freeze to death. But the first episode left some good impressions. Obviously, the animation did well. Some of the reviewers who were talking about it said that, you know, MAPPA, I think it's MAPPA. I didn't write that down, so. You know, they say the anime quality is going to drop at the second half mark, so we'll see. I'll admit the third episode had that kind of, we need to tone things down. It had a wrestling masked tiger cat thing fighting against the void, but you know, I find Natsuko really charming. Also, I just love her voice actress. I had listened to her English voice actress. Sorry, I should say. I know there's a lot of hubbub around those guys right now. Well, it's more around the translators, I guess, but I'm not going to go into that right now. But her voice actress, her English voice actress, is the same one for Lilith from One Piece, and I just love that. I just love her voice. I don't have her name written down, but I just love I just love the way she talks. It's really awesome. But so yeah, Natsuko died. She's in her favorite anime. She's rewriting the script as she goes along. And her powers are really interesting. I find her powers really interesting because you think, well, you can animate anything, so you can just reuse the same giant giant monster thing from the first episode. Well, there's a rule in place, kind of a bullshit rule, but you kind of understand why. She can't reuse whatever. She can't reuse what she's drawn before, so she has to come up with new ideas. And it's kind of interesting that she's not thinking far enough ahead in the plot. So it's like, okay, this is going to happen, so I need to have this ready to go. But it's another interesting fact that the more she changes things, so like characters were supposed to die in like the second episode. Second or first? Yeah. In the second or first episode. And they didn't, so things have completely changed. And so it's one of those things, the more and more things change, the more her knowledge becomes less relevant, which I really like. You know, it's one of the things where stuff is going to happen, but now it's not happening the way you expect it to. That gets reused a lot in the kind of like the Otome game, villainous heroine stuff. You know, where they're changing so much, but stuff is still happening. But in those, it's a lot more forced. And there's some interesting things in episode 3 that makes me question what she knows and what some of the actual characters' backgrounds are. Because the elf lady, Melon, holy shit, Melon. I cannot say that name. There's so many frickin' M's in it. Melon. I'm gonna call her Melons. she's an elf, so she doesn't have any. But oh yeah, I guess so. So the actual characters of the movie, Tales of Despair. You have the hero, Luke Braveheart. I gotta say, I love the classic anime tale, the anime naming scheme where it's like, what's his name? His name's Luke. He needs a last name. His name's Braveheart. Like the movie? Yeah, okay. Yeah, just that's that cheesy fancy action name where it's like, what's his name? Braveheart. Okay, he's got a brave heart. What's his name? His name's Luke Braveheart. Oh, that's his name. How'd he get that? He probably made it up. Then we have Unio, which is a unicorn, a talking unicorn that makes me think of MLP, to be honest. But he's kind of a cool little guy. He's trying to get ladies to ride him, which is just that right amount of kid. This was supposed to be a kids anime. Yeah, it's just that amount. It's just that amount of he's saying this, but kids wouldn't understand what he means, but if parents were watching with their kids, then they would understand. They'd maybe laugh at the joke, but also a little weird that they're promoting bestiality in that one. But then we have Melon, Memelin. Okay, I'm gonna settle on Memelin. I was gonna call it, if I call her Melon, it's Memelin. She's the classical elf archer with green hair. I can't remember a lot of early elves had green hair. Like Deedlit I think they're usually blonde because Deedlit had blonde hair. Let me think here for a second. I think a lot of light elves just had blonde hair. Dark elves usually have white hair. I remember High Elf Archer kind of makes me think of green hair a lot. I can't remember if she set the standard there or not, because Goblin Slayer only came out in like 2016. At least the anime did, I think. The manga and books would have been coming out before. I think that would be around 2013, 2010. It depends when they started in Japan and when they actually got over here, so it's kind of hard to say when stuff got popular. Because it always gets started in Japan, then like usually a year, 2 years later, it kicks off. I'll say in the Western world. But so anyways, she's interesting. She has some scenes in the latest episode that make me think she might not have the best of intentions. So I'm interested to see where that goes. But as far as just rating go, because last time I didn't give I Want to Escape Princess Lessons any rating because I didn't think I was going to do ratings when I started doing this. Although that show, I'll give that a B. I'll give I Want to Escape Princess Lessons a solid B. But I gave I left my A-rank party to help my former students reach the dungeon deaths. Holy shit. I still complain. This is why I like Zenshu. I don't know what Zenshu means offhand, but I just enjoy the fact that it's a simple name. You can say, have you seen Zenshu? Rather than I said a sentence. But anyways, I left my A-rank party a C in ranking, as in C's just kind of means enjoyable. I'm going to watch it. I'll probably get to the end of it, but I don't think I'd ever rewatch it. Zenshu, so far, I'd give Zenshu a tentative A-. And I want to say A- because there's not enough information for me to know where the story's going to go and whether it's going to hold its breath. I feel like it's going to stay a solid A for me in the end. And I'll be honest, I'm not an animation snob. Like I could tell in the third episode, there was some, we're saving the budget for later. And there is that classic thing where Natsuko does her, she uses her powers, and there's like this really beautiful animation that the studio said, we've paid for it, we're using it. Which I can't fault them for. So there is a little bit of reused animation here or there. But, if you're an old anime fan like I am, I'm not the oldest. I'm probably in the middle ages of anime fans. I'm literally 32. So there's people who remember a lot more. But I remember the days back in like Gundam Wing. You'd see a lot of reused animation. And I'll be honest, when you're a kid, you don't notice that stuff. But as an adult, you'll notice a little bit more. You kind of have the balance of, well, we're either going to reuse old good animation because we paid for it. So like transformation scenes and stuff like that. Or you're going to get pretty fluid action scenes, but you're going to have a shit tier. You're going to have a shit tier CGI fight, which guild receptionists kind of proves that model a little bit. You're either going to have a CGI fight, half decently animated, or you're going to have a well animated fight, but it's going to be a little more stilted. And you know what? After I'm a little more sympathetic to that stuff because I'm not the best artist. You can see my art on screen right now. It takes me like 2 to 3 days just to get stuff like this done. And I'm not even getting the shit to move. So the fact that some of those guys can get pretty good quality art done and have it move around, I give them a lot of leeway with that. I understand some people get upset when the animation's not that good, but people are only human. And you know what? People complain about AI animation and art, so it's what it is. I got a little off track here. Oh yeah, one more character I got to talk about. I got to talk about Destiny, the mayor's stripper daughter. She's not a stripper, but she dresses like one. She wears that classic dancing outfit, like the Princess Leia slave thing. She's wearing that willingly, apparently. And then after she gets inspired by Tiger Mask wrestling guy that Natsuko animated, she switched to just straight up bikini. There's no skirt. She's wearing bikini and a tiger mask. It's pretty hilarious actually. But yeah, Zenshu, definitely gonna say I have high praise for it. I think it's gonna be an A+ anime in the end. Maybe it won't hit the heights that people expect, but sometimes I think people expect. I'm not sure what they expect sometimes, to be honest. But I understand wanting to keep the quality up. I also understand there's limits to everything. There's budget, there's limits, but sometimes some people I just don't think you can make happy. There's people that complain about animation that I'm like, I don't see it, guys. I'll be honest. But yeah. So yeah, definitely check out Zenshu. I thought I was going to talk a little bit more about it, but right now there's only 3 episodes in the show, so there's not a lot I can talk about at this point. You know, the characters seem cool. It feels I do love the kind of the more classic storytelling and animation that the Tales of Despair stuff is animated in. Like, just the designs, the character designs. The mayor is literally a muscle guy wearing a Speedo. You know, just, I kind of miss that classic stuff, you know. It's nostalgic for me. And then I like the contrast with Natsuko's a little more crisp, modern design. You know, she's wearing her hoodie and stuff. But, you know, I like it. Like I said, I have a lot of high hopes for it. I encourage everybody to go check it out. And if you want to check my stuff, you know, I'm drawing Hazel and Nero I'm drawing my character Hazel hanging out with Nero in the background here. If you want to check out Hazel, I'll have links in the description. I'll have some end card shit here probably. If you do check out the links, don't be put off by the cover of the first book. I'm redesigning that. I recently just talked to some folks, and it looks too much like a romance cover, so I'm changing that. It's not a romance book, I assure you. It's pretty classical anime too. It's all the stuff I enjoy. It's a western. It's a fancy western, so there's guns and shit, swords fighting, demon slaying, stuff like that. Give it a look. Don't be put off by the cover. That's getting changed, but it won't be changed until maybe. Shit, it's probably going to be next month. It's going to be in February 2025 probably when I can finally get that changed, because I'm designing it right now. I got to get it to the art guys. They got to send it back. That usually takes about a month. So, all right. Hope you all have a good day. Yeah. Bye.